Hey guys, this is Josh here with Trillium Wild Edibles, and today I want to bring you a short little identification video on chicken of the woods mushroom, or sulfur shelf. It's called sulfur shelf because it grows in a very shelf-like pattern, just like we can see here. It's also called sulfur shelf because of a yellow stain or a yellow coloration that it will have on the underside of the mushroom. This is a polypore species of mushrooms, and another interesting thing to note is there are some poisonous lookalikes, like the jack-o'-lantern is a really good example. However, the jack-o'-lantern is not a polypore mushroom. You may be asking yourself, what does polypore actually mean? Well, let's take a look at the underside of this mushroom, and we'll find out. If we look very closely at the underside of this mushroom, we're going to notice that it's yellow in color, which, like I said earlier, this is where it gets its name, sulfur shelf. The shelf-like pattern and the sulfur-like color of the underside of the mushroom. It is a polypore species, which means it has pores instead of gills. These pores are extremely closed right now. They're very tightly closed right now, which means that this mushroom is really fresh and it hasn't spored out. What that means as far as edibility is that this mushroom is in prime condition for eating. This is an awesome find, and this is a whole lot of chicken of the woods mushroom. If you look at the underside, you might notice what looks like little bitty pores or holes on the underside. That is what makes it a polypore mushroom. So this makes it very easy to differentiate between a chicken of the woods mushroom and a jack-o'-lantern mushroom, or a big laughing gem. There are a couple different species of sulfur shelf. Some of the ones that you might find earlier in the summer, like from June to July, are going to have a white underside instead of a yellow underside like this one in front of us. It's almost the very tail end of August, and this is a really good time of year to find the sulfur shelf mushroom, especially depending on the temperatures. It usually loves temperatures that get down to about 65 degrees in the middle of night, and all the way up to about 70 or 80 in the middle of the day. This mushroom will generally grow on hardwoods. I always find it on rotten oak logs or fallen oak logs, and I'm right past the edge of the oak forest on my property. So this tells me that this log it's growing on is probably an oak. Another thing that we're going to notice about the chicken of the woods mushroom is that on the edges, you're going to see these yellowish bands coming from the outside edge, radiating towards the inside edge of the mushroom. Now this gives us a really good example of how you've got this bright yellow edge, and then you're going to see these white striations following the edge of the mushroom. And it's going to have this sort of rippled appearance, as we can see here, this like fringe-like sort of appearance, how it waves up and down on the very edge of the mushroom, or on the very edge of the mushroom shelf. This mushroom is a very, very large producer. It generally can produce mushrooms weighing of up to 25 pounds. This is also a very extremely meaty mushroom. If we take a look at this one piece that was broken off, we can see just how big and thick this mushroom is. This mushroom is notorious for not shrinking whenever you cook it. It also develops its name, chicken of the woods, because of its taste and because of its flavor. Another reason it has that name is if we peel apart towards the inside, we're going to notice this very white meat that has these long streaks going down, these grains of mushroom flesh running down, that makes it look very similar to chicken breast. Now, another awesome thing about that is it also tastes just like chicken. It truly, truly does. This is an amazing find, and I'm extremely happy to find this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be harvesting this one tonight, and I'm going to be cooking it up. Essentially, when it comes to cooking, you would cook it like you would any other mushroom. Just lightly saute it in butter for about 10 to 15 minutes, and you're generally going to be done. You can add this to pastas of all kinds. You can also add this to casserole dishes because of its very meaty flavor. In Europe, this mushroom is generally used as a replacement for chicken because of its flavor and its very hearty texture. Okay, so there's a little quick identification video on chicken of the woods mushroom, or the sulfur shelf mushroom. I thank all of you guys for watching this video. I thank you all for commenting and subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. If you want to learn more about wild edibles or medicinal plants, please make sure to subscribe.